All right, everyone, welcome to Forever Friday, Friday Forever. I'm here with Lidia Longorio. Hi, Lydia. How are you?
I am all right.
Fantastic. Lydia is an author, content creator, entrepreneur, CEO, author of Death's Rattle and Hey Humanity, poet, speaker. The list goes on and on. Lydia's famously said, "You live a colorful life with a black and white mind." Happy to have you on.
Thank you.
So, what's really funny is that we actually recorded this a week ago, and I thought it went really, really well.
Mhm.
But I was attempting to do like a Zoom Vimeo window capture and it didn't record any of the audio. So that was kind of a nightmare. But Lydia has been cool enough to re-record with me. So thank you so very much.
Mm.
So how has your week been? Tell me, I know we spoke and really touched on a lot of topics, but it's kind of anything that you wanted to focus on since then, anything that's come to your mind, or you kind of want to focus on some of the similar things that we went down.
Um, well, I actually was on vacation for like 2 days, but um, I've been working on my poetry like I always am. Working on some short stories.
Oh, oh, there you are.
Uh, did it go on hold or something?
Yeah, it just popped off. I don't know why. Maybe internet. So short. Went on vacation. Where'd you go?
Uh, I live in Sacramento, but I went to Los Angeles, which is like a 6-hour drive.
Who's down there?
Down there, it's just like Hollywood, and we went to see like a museum. Is it a museum? It's more like a tourist attraction, I guess.
What is it?
It's what is it called? It's like a motel, but it's not really a motel.
Wait, was that the one where like all those people got murdered at?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's
I
just
went dark. You see, I went totally dark on that one. You're like, no, yeah, it's we went to go play with like drink tea and be fancy, and I'm like, who got murdered?
you got. Yeah, I wouldn't be at the hotel. It's
Did you go to
okay.
any diners? I know you're a big diner aficionado.
I wish, but I was just following my sister's lead. Yeah, I'm not big on vacations, but yeah.
It's hard to take one. I feel like I work a lot, and I feel like especially if you're in a field where there's like you have clients or people that you have to deal with, I'm like afraid that there's going to be a problem and I'm going to miss it and the world is going to explode. But it's always
Yeah.
good to take that step back. And I think the biggest thing I remind myself is in 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, the things that I find obnoxious now, like dealing with certain clients and things of that nature, I'm not even going to remember and I'm not even going to care. I'm just like, cool, I got through it. I learned, I grew. And
Mm.
kind of like you're someone who's experienced like exponential growth in your life and you're 21 now.
Yes.
Okay, fantastic. When's your birthday?
September 14th.
Oh, that's Virgo.
Yes.
Okay, that's a good one. My mom and one of my best friends are Virgos. Um, and so you've written 2 books, you constantly putting out content. I saw you recording an audiobook for one of your books. So what does it look like as a 21-year-old to be so hyper productive, to be able to accomplish so much and grow so much?
Well, being as young as I am, I think hopefully I'll get over it when I'm older, but I have a lot of imposter syndrome. Um, just like, did I really do what I did? Like, sometimes it doesn't seem real. I think that's like a good thing because I achieved my goals and all that, but it's still, I still doubt if I'm somewhat talented or if this was just luck or something.
And do you think part of that is because it's uncomfortable to put stuff out there, or do you think that's because you don't think that you're as good as you should be? Like, what is it from perfectionism? Where do you think that comes
Yeah.
from?
Um, I'm definitely a sort of perfectionist. So that's terrible with the creative outlet. But yeah, I think it's a bit of both. It's just like self doubt and being. I think being so young and being out there. I hate being out there. I'm an introvert and I like keeping myself to myself. But
Sure.
these are my dreams, so yeah.
What would you tell someone who was looking to like pursue their dreams? That I mean, I call myself an extroverted introvert. So like I'm very like I get really burned out putting myself out there. I can put myself out there, but I need a lot of time to like kind of like after a long day of like talking to people and whatever, I need to like recharge. So someone who's like afraid to put themselves out there is more of an introvert. Like, what advice would you give someone like that?
Um, I think just go for it. Like I wrote in my book, um, I've learned that you have to walk even if it's with fear. You have to do what you have to do, no matter how you feel.
Yeah. How do you get through that fear? I mean, I feel like I've struggled so long with putting myself out there and trying to portray an image that I think other people or I want other people to think. And I know people really don't care at the end of the day. Like no one's gonna like go to sleep going, "Oh fuck Joe." But like how do you get over that almost like obnoxiously egotistical
Mhm.
thought? Like people care so much that I've got to make this perfect, and if they're gonna judge me, like what's that look like for you?
Um, Actually, it's I don't know if it's a little bit conceited to quote myself, but like a lot of what I wrote in my book, it's what I think. So, I would say, if you find humility in the little things that no one sees, or the little things that keep you fighting, keep you working, you'll find humility in the big things. So you don't have time with humility. You don't have time to care about what other people think.
I struggle there. I feel like, and so you're a really good self promoter, and I wish I had more of that as a talent. I think that's a really great skill. It's like how are you until you get to a level where you're just a viral creature, you need to be a self promoter. How do you balance humility and being a self promoter?
Oh, that one is actually really hard. Like again, I'm an introvert. I don't like putting myself out there. It's one of the most terrifying things for me.
Sure.
Uh, but I just do it. Kind of like kind of blindly in a way, or just do it. Walk through fire so you can get wherever help. I don't know. The hell. But
Sure.
you know, I gotta do what I gotta do, and I try not to think about it too much, and just do it, Nike.
Right? Oh man, I wish they were sponsoring this. I would literally like one podcast a month and I'd be set. Oh man. Well, yeah, so and I kind of want to that's a great segue because I feel like this is something we talked about when we met earlier. Your book of poetry, that's not Death Rattle, that's your or is that Death Rattle or is your new book is Death Rattle, correct?
My new book is Rattle, which is a novel, and Hey Humanity is a poetry book.
That's right. Hey, Humanity. I love that title, by the way. I feel like a total bum for forgetting. I keep putting this into full screen mode, and then I can't look at my notes. So that's a failure on my part there. So in Hey Humanity, and this is something that I thought was super cool about you, is that you said that you'd been building this catalog of thoughts and notes and wisdoms that you've kind of just encompassed or gathered over the years, but you were doing it since you were like a 17-year-old girl,
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
And I
Yeah.
was like, dude, how are you not cringing when you go back and still publishing that? So like tell me about that journey and why you putting it out there, even though I know it's uncomfortable.
Yeah. I'm definitely cringing at some of the poems. Um, there's some teenage angst in there, which I know some teens are gonna relate to, but it's still cringy for me. I'm just like, oh, okay. Deep 14-year-old or not deep 14. Yeah, some 14-year-olds because I write poems all the time, but um I wrote poems when I was younger, so I put them in there, but yeah. I do cringe.
Wow. But you and really alluded to the fact that, part of your art, you're pushing through that, uncomfortability, which I
Mhm.
really admire about you. And the general theme there was, hey, I was going through this. I know there's someone else who will be going through this.
Right.
And so even though I might be a little uncomfortable putting this out there, if it helps even one person, that's worth, some of that self-sacrifice.
Yeah. Yeah. I see it that way. Yeah. You
What are some of
hit
those themes? as a kid, like that you really that were like a what were the some of the like feelings, thoughts, themes, things of that nature as you teenage Lydia?
Mhm. Ooh, teenage Lydia. Ooh, cringe fest. I guess I dealt with a lot of loneliness when I was younger. Being a loner, being an introvert. I was actually like with that kid that was like always alone. Which I love now because I love spending time with myself. Being an introvert at heart, I love that. But I definitely did deal with the feelings of that teenagers have. I deal with the angst, deal with the growing, and not knowing what's going on. I feel like a lot of teens are misunderstood, because if you were like dealing with humanity, you'd know that uh, the teenagers, everything that happens to them is so extreme because that's their first time dealing with whatever the hell they're dealing with. So yeah, yeah, it's a little bit cringy, but it means that I've grown. So yeah.
I love that. I mean, it's really almost a catalog of your wisdom, and then you can look back and go, "Oh wow, I was pretty deep." And then another one, you'll go, "What the fuck was I doing?" Like when I was in middle school, I would literally. I went to school in this town called Arlington Heights, and my parents and where I live is in this town called Palatine. For
Mhm.
a human being with a car, 15, 20 minutes. But my buddies all were neighborhood friends. I was like a kid that came and like joined the friend group later. So I couldn't ride bikes then after school. And I would like go home and like cry in my fucking bunk bed. Like
Oh.
so dumb, but to your point, like your universe is so small and
Hmm.
these happenings are such a big deal. And now if someone like was like, "Oh, we can't ride bikes," I'd be like, "Thank God," because I just wanted to like sit inside and watch TV today. So that's great. But it's just funny how it's such a big deal as a kid. So I want to jump off, kind of talk about Death's Rattle. We really connect on this. Last time we chatted, I was like really hungry, and I'm like, "Oh, that diner looks like so good." Like we talked about favorite food. So tell me how the diner and the theme of this dark comedy kind of join together, and give us a little bit of info on the book.
Well, it all starts with a dream, right? So, I wanted to be an author. I wanted to write more than poetry. I wanted to go beyond my comfort zone. So I wanted to write a fun novel that you can read. I know a lot of people are not readers. So I wanted to be like an easy novel, easy to keep up with, all that. That it's just a fun little adventure, with little nuggets of wisdom there, here and there. Um, but I love diners. You know that. I adore diners. They're my happy place. I love burgers and all that American food. Are they American? Yeah, it's American.
Oh yeah. What's
Yeah.
your favorite fast food burger?
Ooh, Carl's Jr. is the love of my life.
Carl's Jr. I've
Or
never
Hardee's.
had Carl's Jr.
What do you call it? Hardee's or Carl's Jr.?
So they don't even have that by here. I think I've had Hardee's before. Do they have all like the different fries?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And it's like the one that's like the check. No, I'm thinking of Checkers. Oh, I don't
Oh.
think I've had either. So I just recently had I was in Texas and I had Jack in the Box, and I was not impressed,
Yeah.
unfortunately. I'm a big Chick-fil-A guy, but if I gotta go burger right now, it's not really fast food, but Shake Shack is my shit. But I'm gonna have to try Hardee's or College Junior because I've literally never had it. Is it a
It's the
California
best.
thing?
I'm in California, yeah. We have In-N-Out here.
So I didn't like In-N-Out. Maybe I didn't have a good meal there. So I don't know. I didn't get the. Are you a fan of In-N-Out? I know it's like huge out there.
Yeah. I think I am. Sometimes it's not better than Carl Jr., but maybe because I am just so attached to Carl Jr. Uh, but yeah, it's okay. I mean, I would if I didn't live in California, I would come from somewhere else and taste it. If I ever move away, I'd be like, take me to In-N-Out.
Where if you could live anywhere in the world, where would you live?
Oh, I would live s- oh, I have this like dream to like live somewhere different every year.
Really? Like do a year? And that is that based on geography or like experiencing different cultures or what is it?
Um, I think more geography. I mean, obviously you're gonna experience different cultures. That's inevitable, I guess. Um, but if I would live. One of the top places I would live is Finland.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
What is
Uh,
attractive about Finland?
ooh, it's a place of introverts.
Yes. What's up with
Yes.
that?
Yeah. I have a friend who's from Finland. We connected online, and she's an online friend. Um, and she's told me a lot about Finland, and I'm like, this is my place. I was born in the wrong place. It's just full of introverts. It's an introvert culture, and I love that. And being like American, I love America, but it's not an introvert culture.
Yeah, it's
You're like,
the people who really thrive or the people who can really put themselves out there. I guess unless you
mhm.
wanted to be like a computer programmer, which like there's this I'm really good at talking and I used to be a bartender. I work in sales. But it burns me out, right?
Mhm.
And my like part of me is like I should have just like gotten really good at like writing code. I just sit in a dark room all day, not talk to anyone, like walk my dog just so I can get outside and then like come back and like but yeah, so I don't know. Do you watch Formula One racing at all?
No, I don't think so. No.
So there's a racer. He's like one of the top three. His name's Valerie Bottas, and he is Finnish, I believe.
Really?
And they were doing this whole thing about him, and it shows his life. He lives in like the middle of nowhere. He like hangs out with his brother occasionally, and they'll just like sit in a sauna in silence and be like 5 minutes of silence go by, and they'll just be like, "This is good," and the other guy will just shake his head, and that's like the whole conversation for the day.
Oh, I
So
love that. That sounds like heaven to me.
you're such a good conversationalist though. So what is this like do you feel like you have to kind of like go above and beyond your personality to be extroverted or is it just like you're an introverted extrovert? Like what is that?
I
Or,
think I am an introvert, but if I like you, like a first impression, I can be very comfortable. Like for example, we did have to do the first interview, and you seemed really cool to me, so now I'm comfortable.
yeah, it went really well. I actually feel like our rapport has gotten even better, which is really nice because it was like fresh and new and I was like a little nervous too. So it is very and I would have loved to have had two in the can, but I think one great one is awesome too. So I'm
Mm.
going back to my notes here. I kind of wanted to talk more about your stuff. All right. So I want to know what motivates you. You've written two books, you put out content, you're very consistent. What is your motivator?
Ooh. Um, Being there for people, letting them know they're not alone. That's my motivator.
And so when you're creating content and you're maybe pouring yourself into it, how is for example like Death's Rattle, how is that kind of communicating this you're not alone? I know you mentioned that when I asked you about the book and what motivated there, like how is that infused in the book?
Um, well, obviously everybody experiences death, which is what it's about. But the thing I liked about the book, or what I wanted to do with the book, is that I wanted to add something. mm, is it supernatural or just super to normal life? And a lot of supernatural or sci-fi based things, I believe they can be metaphors for real life struggles, real human struggles. So in a way, I just like the metaphor, and whatever people take from it, that's their interpretation.
Cool. Can you tell me about the main character? Is that based on you? Is that like what's that character creation look like? How do you create and shape that character?
Um, well, the character's name is Elijah. Um, he's a dude. I'm not a dude.
Right.
Uh,
Accurate.
yeah.
But I mean, are there like it's like you being you and your very like specific personality? Do you pour some of yourself into each one of your characters? I guess is more my question.
Yeah, yeah. Some of it. But I think with observing and everything, I've um met both genders, or and I think I take personalities from people I watch, and if it fits what I want the character to be, you anyone could inspire me. Anyone, any stranger, you, you know, anyone can inspire me without knowing. And I do definitely. There's a little part of me in every of my characters. They're like my children, so uh, so yeah, we have to have a little piece of mother. So yeah, definitely. Elijah's an introvert, for example. Definitely an introvert. Um, so there's that, and well, he's also Mexican American. I'm full Mexican, but that Mexican part is comes from me.
That's exceptional. And what's that like being? I know you're from Tijuana and you moved here when you were 6, correct?
Yes.
Oh, how has that affected your life in general? And I mean, your content. I mean, whatever that might be. Like, how has that shaped, well, Lydia, and made you who you are?
Ooh, well, it's kind of um a dilemma in my life. I am Mexican, speak Spanish at home, embrace all of that. But since I was brought here so young, um, I was, uh, in a way, a very lonely kid because of that, because I didn't speak the language. Um, and obviously, as an introvert that doesn't even speak the language, that's an extra barrier there. But also, have um, kind of become Americanized.
Sure.
So it's kind of confusing sometimes, connecting to my Mexican part, or Mexicanness, because I am full Mexican. But yeah, I've been very Americanized, and I think that, like, um, isolates me sometimes. That can It's not confusion, but it's a dilemma. I consider myself more into American culture, because that's where I grew up, and people say, "Oh, you're Mexican," they say you're Mexican. The culture is, you and whatever. And honestly, I'm more into American culture because it's what I grew up with, technically. Um, so yeah, it's an interesting topic for me.
It's a very interesting, to your point, especially if you have like a big circle that is like your family or other Mexican people.
Hmm.
There's this whole, and I'm going to sound like an idiot here. I'm going to just say it in my own terms.
Yeah.
It's a a slowness to assimilate and wanting to stick to the roots of the Mexican culture. By
Mm.
no means am I anyone who can even like provide any sort of opinion on that. I don't know anything, but like that's kind of I feel like when you are wanting to, you're like, oh, I'm more into American culture. They're like, you're being a bad Mexican. Like, what the hell, dude?
Right, right,
But
right.
then you have your American friends or your American things that you're more interested in, and so it's like, how do you find that balance, or are you just like, you know what, I am who I am, like take it or leave it?
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely, I am who I am, everything that I've been through has made me who I am, and I like who that person is. I'm learning to love that person. But it's definitely weird for people to uh see me in a way that I don't see myself. I see myself as a person. I see myself as Lydia, and those other things, my gender, my ethnicity, my everything, is just little nuggets, like, of my personality. Um, and I'm proud of my Mexican roots,
Sure,
but I have been Americanized, and I'm not going to deny that.
sure. That's a really cool sentiment. It's like you're so much more than a Mexican American or a girl, or like there are things that made you who you are, but there's probably like 1 million nuances that needed to be tweaked to the perfect degree to make you the specific person that you are. So that's really, really cool. And I definitely think, you're a very unique person as well. So that's a really cool answer. One thing I love is you're so consistent. Anyone who wants to put themselves out there, I've been trying to read this book. It's called The Practice, and it's really just about putting your workout and like even if it sucks, you keep putting it out and it's just going to get better as you go, as you go, as you go, right? Like
Yeah.
the first podcast you and I did together, I couldn't even freaking get the audio to record. Now I figured out how to get the audio to record, so infinitely better, right?
Yeah.
So, and just so what is your kind of advice or your take or your practice on putting out content and being consistent?
It's definitely as we talked about earlier, getting through that fear. Um, because sometimes I get really nervous to post, even though I post every day, almost every day, pretty much every day.
Mhm.
It kind of would seem that I'm addicted to social media, but I try to stay away from it unless I'm posting. Um, but yeah, it's all a blur, you know. I'm just doing what I'm doing, trying not to focus on my fear and my doubt, because it's very prevalent.
Sure.
uh, but I just do it. Yeah.
How much time do you spend looking at the like replies, good or bad, and replying to fans and things of the nature? Is that like a big component of it, or like how what does that look like for you?
Well, I include it in my work hours, work time.
Sure.
Um, but every time I need a break and I'm on my phone, I I check for fan interactions, and I say, hey, thank you for posting my quote, or I say hello because these are the people that buy my books and like my quotes, and you know they make my dreams possible.
That's so cool. I don't. So I work in medical staffing. It's like my day job, and we use this software. It's a website where our clients can rate us, and I've gotten a lot of good reviews. I've gotten like a couple that were like decent, but mostly good. Obviously, you're only going to send it to people you know will give you a good review, but I don't even read them because it makes me so uncomfortable even though it's positive. Like I can
Mhm.
read someone saying "go fuck yourself," and I'm like, whatever. But like someone being like, "Joe is a sweetie," and like I want to hold his hand, I'm like under my desk, like like dying. I don't know
Yeah, yeah,
what the hell that is. It's so weird. And I'm like, what is wrong with me? Why don't I want to hear people being nice to me? Like, you ever experience anything like that, or can you relate to that on
yeah.
any level, or tell me what the hell's wrong with me?
uh, I definitely feel that because whenever people always say to me, like, oh, you're gonna be so successful. Your book is so good. You write so good. Um, you're making an impact on people. Like I had for humanity, I had a what's it called? Uh, what's it called? Release party, I
Oh,
guess.
cool. Yeah,
Before the pandemic. But yeah, I got a lot of compliments there and a lot of speeches and a lot of thank yous and a lot of hugs, before the pandemic.
right,
uh,
right.
yeah, and I got to see what my work meant to people, and it was honestly, I got to meet people, hug people, interact with them one by one. I loved that. That was amazing. But I was extremely tired. I had to come home and take a nap, you know? Um, but yeah, it's definitely difficult to have people know who you are in a way, or especially because I kind of expose myself
Yeah.
in my book, and I'm like, this part of myself, this thought of myself, and it's kind of like, I'm sorry, I'm very depressing.
Well, it's like you're immediately vulnerable.
Yeah,
Like
right.
you have aired your dirty laundry before you even aired your dirty laundry, right?
Yeah, to total strangers.
Do you feel like you have to give, especially when people are giving you positive feedback, that like you have to give them like a piece of yourself or like some of your energy? Is that kind of where that getting tired comes from?
Um, I just like I like giving my energy to people, but I know it'll leave me tired.
Hmm.
Um, it's kind of like giving powers to people, but you take from yourself. Um, but I, I'm very I love being with people, but they can be very tiring sometimes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, that's completely accurate. Oh, so and I had one more thing. Oh my God, my mic here got all wonky. Uh, I got like a new little setup. It's pretty cool. All right. Oh, and lastly, this is the most important, or not most important, but something that I'd love to hear from you. Um, what is your Friday forever? What is your forever Friday, your perfect day, the day where you got to do the thing that you loved, you're passionate about. It also makes you money. And then whatever those hobbies or things, leisure things you wanted to do, what is that perfect Friday for you? What does that look like?
I've been asked, well, not of the perfect Friday, but I've been asked what my perfect day is. And I would say a day where I've written, where I've been creative. Um, Obviously, writing is my main thing right now, which uh, uh which I love, and that's gonna be my perfect day if I just even write one sentence. Um, but I think being by myself, doing my thing, you know, eating some French fries, that'd be my perfect day.
Eating French fries in the diner while you do
Yes.
writing, right? That's the perfect diner moment for. And you were regular fries. Do you eat them with ketchup?
Oh, I eat them with ketchup and ranch. I need my ranch in
Ketchup
there.
and ranch like mixed together or like side by side?
Either way, as long as it's there.
Pizza with ranch is like my kryptonite. So that
Oh,
sounds absolutely phenomenal. Tell everyone where they can find you, your social, your website.
yes. You can find me on lidialongorio.com. That's my website. I have all my links there. Uh, and there's a lot of links. I'm very active, as you
Yeah.
said.
Well, yeah, and I mentioned this last time when I went to your website, which is really nice, by the way. On the bottom, there's like 10, or I think there may be more than 10 social links, and I'm like, there's no way. I'm like, there's Tumblr, there's TikTok, and the list goes on. I'm like, yeah, I bet half of these are like broken links or not even have posts on them. They're all like at least once a week updated, and and the more popular social platforms almost daily. I was like,
Mhm.
dear Lord. I mean, that's awesome that you're putting out content. Your TikTok's really cool. You mentioned you like the pattern. So it's got like the quotes from your book and your poems, your poetry, weaved in with like content of like photos and things of that nature, which I thought was really great. So yeah, check out LydiaLongorio.com. All of her socials also Lydia Longorio. Do you have the book to hold up? I'd love to see that. I know you held it up last time, and it's got a really cool cover on it with the diner. Yeah, if you could grab that, if it's within reach. I'd love for everyone to take a peek at that. Sorry to make you run all the way over there. Fantastic.
Sometimes room, but yeah.
There it
Okay,
is.
this is the diner one. Oh, the Death Rattle one, the novel. Yeah, and that's what it looks like with the diner.
That's so
Yeah,
cool.
with Death eating a milkshake or eating a milkshake,
Oh,
drinking a
that's
milk.
so cool.
And then this is the poetry book.
And did you design those covers?
No, I'm not. I'm an artist, but I am not good at drawing.
You
Or
were like creative directed them and found someone who could do that. That's so neat. I
yeah, yeah,
love
yeah.
that.
Yes. Oh, pay your artists.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
We don't work for free. Actually, we do for now.
Oh
A
no.
lot. Just kidding. No, but I mean, those covers are awesome. The death on the milkshake is really neat. But yeah, this has been phenomenal. This time it actually did record, so this is going to be sweet.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, we'll definitely push this out to you and your fans. And then I'd love to meet with you again. I thought this was actually
Yeah.
even better. It just felt more conversational.
Mhm.
And I'd love to keep it going. But yeah, absolute pleasure, Lydia. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
All right. Have a good one.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.